Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I have another toy review for today, and if you watched my previous video, you will remember that I said that I was gonna get into a new line, or rather a familiar line, if you're familiar with the 80s toy line of the Food Fighters. And if you don't know what that is, they were a bunch of anthropomorphic toys, which means like non-human things or objects that are given human emotions and abilities, and they're given human traits. So basically these were food items from a refrigerator, like french fries, donuts, pizza, eggs, whatever grocery things you can think of. They were given human traits, and also they were given things along the lines of like a military perspective. So like they would have toy lines like the donuts would have like grenades, or like pizza would have like swords or something along those lines of it was mostly like a hybrid of like a military line mixed with a food line. And why I'm saying this is because those are one of the lines that I grew up with as a child, because they were it was such a creative thing. I mean, I can't even think of anything that comes close to how creative that was. Like, besides like Mutant Ninja Turtles, where human traits were given to like animals. Like, I would have never thought to give human traits to like grocery items. So that was really cool. Like, I really liked the idea of that. And so I wanted to pick up a few of those items. And so I looked at eBay, and they're actually pretty expensive. If you go look at even the loose stuff, it's pretty expensive. They go for around $20 a pop. For each figure, not even complete. Some of those figures go for like $20 to $30, and they're pretty rare as well. I've been going to like the Kane County Toy Fair and T2E2, just keeping an eye out for these particular items, and they're nowhere to be found. They're really rare. So when I heard about the Grossery Gang, and I heard about this from Pixel Dan's channel, which I'm a huge fan of. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. So an Australian toy company by the name of Moose, who also makes the Shopkins toys. If you're familiar with that, if you have kids, go look up the Shopkins. They're very popular with children nowadays. They wanted to diversify their toy lines, and so they made something along the same lines of the Food Fighters, and I'm just assuming that license is up for grabs, and nobody has that license. So they went ahead and made something really similar, almost identical, if you ask me, and they shrunk it down, so the toys are much smaller, and they have something by the name of the Grossery Gang. And I actually have one of those figures with me today. It's actually, what's the name of this guy? Dodgey Donut, from the Grossery Gang. And on the front it says the Grossery Gang versus the Clean Team. So it still has that military aspect of war. And you can look on the card. It's a really nice card. You get fries, a donut, pizza. I was actually debating whether to get the pizza or the donut, but I chose the donut because I really like the different colors on the donut. I really like the pink on this donut. I really do. I think it's a really nice toy. And then on the back, you have the full line. It looks like they have more of the Grossery Gang as opposed to the Clean Team. I think it's more as opposed to like a military aspect. I think it's more along the lines of like um, Urban Warfare, which is okay. Hopefully, like the people don't catch on. And I'm assuming that this got by, got by like the censors, just because it's an Australian toy company, so they got by censorship because it's an Australian toy company, because of the themes of urban warfare, which I'm totally okay with, because it's it's such a crazy idea of a gang of, like, grocery items. So I'm going to open this guy up, and we're going to take a look at what it can do, take a look at the articulation, and I'll give some my overall ideas about this product, which I'm really excited for. So let's take a look at this guy, okay? All right, so I've opened the package, and I want to inspect each piece, thoroughly. So the standee included in the packaging. So this is the Putrid Power. I liked the graphic of it. I don't know what the Putrid Power stands for. Maybe it's, I think, along the lines of like maybe this is the first wave. I don't know. But it's the Grossery gang versus the Clean team. And this whole graphic or illustration is like a garbage can. On the top is overflow of that garbage, which is really cool. And then once I tore off the bubble on the card, you could see on the back, you have this nice graphic of like flies and maggots. It's just a really cool concept. I mean, it's so out there. But yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't save this part of the graphic. But there's a pizza, the donut, fries. I'm assuming they're the main guys in this line, which I'm really happy to then get this donut, because I got one of the main characters. So on the back, it's saying that there's going to be an online movie, which, according to its Wikipedia page, the Grossery Gang movie is available now on YouTube. I think it's been available since July. I still haven't had a chance to look at it. And the name of the character that I got is Dodgey Donut, aka Rocky. And I'm just gonna leave this up here for a few seconds so you guys read this. Maybe you could press pause. You could take a look and see if you could read that. And then if you want to take a look at the few of the characters there, I think it's a really cool lineup. It's almost identical to the Food Fighters, and unfortunately, I don't have any of those original figures from the 80s lineup. I did have them as a kid, but I think my godmother didn't like them because it reminded them of, I don't know, they didn't think it was like something a kid should play with, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of like the gross stuff, but I thought this was cool. I thought it was a cool concept, and I really like it. I do want to find this blowfly here. That he looks amazing. I know it's blurry, but I saw this there, and I was debating whether to get this or that. And there's still quite a few of those here. I would like to find the French fries. Eventually I would like to pick up the whole line. And they're not expensive either. Since they're smaller figures, they go for about $6 a pop, which isn't bad. considering the inflation of action figures nowadays. Everything is like $20 a pop. But let's get into the action figure itself. So this is Dodgey Donut. I'm just gonna call him Rocky, and he has a really cool color scheme. So he's primarily donut, with the exception of his hands. I don't know what his hands are made of. Maybe his hands are donuts formed to make hands, maybe. But I really like the color scheme of this. I mean, he's just, that theme of donuts, sprinkled donuts at that, is all over this figure. And if you look on the figure itself, like the larger donut, which makes up his torso, those aren't sprinkles, those are maggots. And I want to say, I would like to say that these are maggots too, but there's no detailing that would indicate that those are also maggots. So I'm going to say those are sprinkles. So on the larger torso, those are maggots. You get a bit of like slime on there. So I mean, I'm assuming that, you know, a toxic accident had to occur in order for this donut to gain some anthropomorphic traits and become more human. I'm just assuming. I don't think donuts spontaneously become more human-like overnight. So I just probably gonna have to watch a movie. But I really like this. You know, it's so creative, and I know that this is just like maybe like a reboot or recreation of the original idea, but it's such a great idea that I had to indulge. I really like the expression on his face. I think that's fantastic. I don't even know how to define that that expression. I think it's just a really great facial expression. And I've got to say, I really love the contrast of color. I mean, you know, this torso, that theme of this yellow torso is consistent throughout the donut, throughout Rocky, and it's really what ties the whole piece together. This yellow, you know, you can see the yellow on the torso, on the thighs, and then on the feet, and then on top. What really makes this whole figure pop, and admittedly, I think this is why I chose the donut over the pizza this time around, is that pink made it really pop. This pink and green really made this action figure pop, and that's why I chose this figure. There are a couple of accessories that come with this action figure, and it looks like there's a couple of canisters of ooze that I am just assuming they are, and then in the middle is the ooze formed to shape a nunchaku or nunchucks, and I'm just going to equip him with his action figure. Which is a really cool look. I really like that. Oh man, this is such a great line. I think I'm gonna do a whole series about this. There's another accessory that he comes with, and I'm just gonna read this. See what he means, or what's the significance of them. So, okay, so I'll just read this then. It only makes sense to read this. Dodgey Donut, aka Rocky. Rock hard and ready to roll, Dodgey Donut is rude, crude, and barely food. Dodgey Donut is a whole lot of trouble. Wow, the puns just don't stop. With limbs of ice rings, he's a donut who's about to go nuts. When it's time for a dirty battle, he's the one you'll want to by your side. This scrappy snack is always around when you need him. Get ready to fight dirty. Okay, alright. So that's him. And then you get this nice accessory, which I could only assume. I mean, there's no description describing the significance of this other figure. So I'm just assuming that this is early Dodgey Donut, and this is when he was first mutating into, or developing into, I guess full-grown Dodgey Donut. But this is cool also. It's really soft. It's this soft, rubbery, squishy plastic, I'd say. I don't know. I don't even know if it's plastic. Maybe it's rubber. But it's cool. It's just... It's sort of like those things you squish when you want to the doctors give you to calm down. You squeeze those things. I can't even think of the name right now. But anyways, I've said too much, or not enough. I'm just gonna rave about this line. I love this line. I think it, for the price you get, for what you get, I think it's really cool. I actually didn't even go into the articulation. So, of course, the torso is really large, and you could tell it's one piece. So the only articulation you get are these ball joints on each of his extremities. So they're all ball jointed, and they're actually they're ball ratchet joints, and the articulation is really nice. I would be careful with the legs. I think you could only... Okay, yeah, you could only move the legs side to side. It would be nice, but I don't want to break it. It's such a nice figure. So you could only move the legs like this. Don't even know how to describe it. I'm just going to show it. But the arms, you have a full range of articulation. And that's all you need. That's all you really need. I think this is more of a decorative piece for me than anything. Actually, all my toys are decorative pieces, but such a cool concept. So, what do I give this? I am just going to be biased as hell and say I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. I love this line. I love the concept. The Grossery gang is so awesome. I'm probably going to include this in the same series as Food Fighters if I could get my hands on any of those figures down the line. But these are really cool for the price. Really fantastic. Great figures. 10 out of 10. Go pick them up. I think they're awesome. I suggest you get them. Just for the sake of a lot of laughs. And they would probably make good conversational pieces, I would say. Alright? So 10 out of 10. Go pick them up. Dodgey Donut. Rocky. Nerdy Dan Vlogs. Thanks for watching. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye now.
Captain's got to teach stuff.